The enigmatic and often controversial figure of Kanye West has taken an unexpected turn in his public persona and artistic expression. The rapper, producer, and fashion designer launched what he calls Sunday Service in January 2019, a weekly gathering that combines elements of Christian worship, gospel music, and West's own brand of showmanship. The central question that arises from these performances is whether Kanye West's Sunday Service is genuinely rooted in faith, or if it serves other purposes, be they artistic, commercial, or personal. To answer this question, we'll examine the structure and content of these services, the public and media reactions, and the broader context of West's career and personal life. Kanye West's Sunday Service began as a seemingly spontaneous and intimate gathering in January 2019, at a time when Kanye West was experiencing what he described as a spiritual awakening. This period followed a tumultuous time in West's life, marked by public controversies, mental health struggles, and a growing interest in religious themes in his music. Initially, these events were private affairs, held in various locations around Calabasas, California, where West resides. The early iterations of Sunday Service were characterized by their exclusivity, with attendance limited to West's family, friends, and select invitees. These early services were notable for their lack of formal structure or explicit preaching. Instead, they centered around the power of music to evoke spiritual feelings and create a sense of community. The choir, dressed in matching neutral-toned outfits, became a signature element of these gatherings, with their harmonies and energy playing a crucial role in setting the tone for each service. The concept quickly evolved, however, and soon began to capture public attention through social media glimpses shared by attendees. As interest in Sunday Service grew, so did its scale and accessibility. West began to host larger events, eventually bringing Sunday Service to music festivals like Coachella in April 2019. This marked a significant shift from private gatherings to public spectacles, raising questions about the nature and purpose of these events. The Coachella performance in particular served as a turning point. Held on Easter Sunday, it featured a large choir dressed in matching neutral-toned outfits, performing atop a man-made hill. The event drew thousands of attendees and was live-streamed to an even larger audience, cementing Sunday Service as a cultural phenomenon. At its core, Sunday Service is centered around music. The performances feature a large gospel choir, often accompanied by a full band, performing both traditional gospel songs and reinterpreted versions of popular music, including West's own hits. The visual aesthetics of Sunday Service have also evolved over time. Early services featured a more casual, intimate atmosphere, while later iterations adopted a more polished and choreographed approach. The choir's matching outfits, often in muted tones, became a signature element, as did the circular formation in which they often perform. West began to take the concept on tour, holding events in various cities across the United States and even internationally. These performances took place in diverse settings, from traditional church buildings to outdoor venues and even prisons. Each of these events drew large crowds and significant media attention. In October 2019, West released Jesus is King, an album heavily influenced by his Sunday Service experiences. This gospel rap hybrid album represented a significant shift in West's musical output, featuring explicitly Christian lyrics and themes. Following the album's release, West expanded the Sunday Service concept into the realm of performance art. In December 2019, he debuted Nebuchadnezzar, an opera based on the biblical story of the Babylonian king. This was followed by a second opera, Mary, which retold the Nativity story. These productions blended elements of Sunday Service with theatrical staging and biblical narratives, further blurring the lines between religious expression and artistic performance, with classics like How Great Is Our God and Amazing Grace often featured alongside West's reinterpreted secular songs. More surprisingly, songs without obvious religious connections are also transformed, with lyrics often altered to include Christian messages. Is this a genuine attempt to infuse faith into all aspects of life, or is it a way of making religious content more palatable to a secular audience? West's own statements during these services have been a source of both inspiration and controversy. His unfiltered style of speaking, combined with his often unconventional interpretations of Christian doctrine, has led to mixed reactions from both religious and secular observers. To understand the authenticity of Kanye West's Sunday Service, it's crucial to examine his personal relationship with faith throughout his life and career. West was raised in a Christian household, with his late mother, Donda West, instilling in him a foundation of religious beliefs from a young age. This early exposure to Christianity is evident in some of West's earlier works. His debut album, The College Dropout, 2004, featured the hit single Jesus Walks, which openly discussed his faith and its place in the hip-hop world. This track stood out in the mainstream rap landscape for its unabashed religious content, signaling that faith has long been a part of West's artistic expression. Despite these early religious influences, West's public persona has often been at odds with traditional Christian values. His career has been marked by controversies, from inflammatory public statements to highly sexualized music and imagery. His behavior has frequently been criticized as ego-driven and materialistic, traits that seem to contradict the humility and selflessness often associated with Christian faith. West has also been open about his personal struggles, including battles with mental health issues and addiction. These challenges have played out in the public eye, sometimes resulting in erratic behavior that has caused concern among fans and critics alike. West's renewed focus on faith has reportedly had a significant impact on his personal life. He has spoken about changes in his behavior, including attempts to live a more wholesome lifestyle and to infuse his family life with religious practices. His wife at the time, Kim Kardashian West, and their children were often seen participating in Sunday service events, presenting an image of family unity centered around faith. However, the subsequent challenges in West's personal life, including his high-profile divorce, have led some to question the depth and lasting impact of this spiritual transformation. The intersection of his public persona, private struggles, and professed faith continues to be a complex and often contradictory narrative. Some have questioned the sincerity of his conversion, pointing to inconsistencies between his professed beliefs and some of his actions or statements. Others have expressed concern about the way West has melded his celebrity status with his religious expression, fearing that it might trivialize or commercialize faith. There have also been theological debates about some of West's statements on faith, with some Christian leaders expressing concern about what they perceive as unorthodox or misleading religious ideas in his music and public statements. The musical aspects of Sunday service have received mixed reviews from critics and audiences alike. Many praise the quality of the performances, the skill of the choir and musicians, and the innovative arrangements. The energy and emotional power of the music are frequently highlighted as particularly effective. However, some critics have questioned the depth of the spiritual content, arguing that the emphasis on performance and spectacle sometimes overshadows the religious message. Others have raised concerns about the appropriation of gospel music traditions, particularly given West's controversial public persona and previous musical content. There are some key points surrounding the critics of Kanye's Sunday service. Questions of authenticity. A common critique centers on the perceived authenticity of West's religious conversion and the sincerity of Sunday service. Some view it as a calculated career move rather than a genuine expression of faith. Critics have accused West of commodifying religion, pointing to the high-priced merchandise sold at some Sunday service events and the way the gatherings have been used to promote West's music and brand. Some religious leaders and scholars have expressed concern about the theology presented in Sunday service, arguing that it sometimes strays from orthodox Christian teachings or oversimplifies complex religious concepts. The invitation-only nature of many Sunday service events, often attended by celebrities and influencers, has led to accusations of elitism and the creation of a designer religion for the wealthy and well-connected. Some have criticized West for appropriating African-American gospel traditions without fully respecting or understanding their historical and cultural context. Given West's history of mental health struggles, some have questioned whether his religious activities might be related to his bipolar disorder, leading to debates about the ethics of public reactions to his behavior. Despite these criticisms, there's no denying the impact that Sunday service has had on the contemporary gospel music scene. Its high-profile nature has brought renewed attention to gospel music and has influenced other artists to explore the intersection of pop and religious music.